everyone, and well, actually, good afternoon, East Coast. My name is Anna Surgunina, and I'm excited to be here with you this morning. I've got a guest that is going to share some of the wisdom with us, and so I hope you guys are having a great week. Now, I've got Miriam Lawrence from Horsesmouth to talk to us about how we as advisors find answers to the most challenging questions that clients present to us. And I know you can relate to that if you are in a space of advising. So let's dive into the actual discussion, because Horsesmouth is a platform, a resource for advisors to get education, to get tools, to get resources, so that we can be at the top of our game to provide the best advice that we can to our clients. Miriam, welcome. Awesome to have you here. So tell us let's start with the fun part. Tell us about, where does the name come from? I'm dying to know.
Well, thanks for having me. It's great to be here. Horsesmouth has been around since late 1996, early 1997. I'm dating myself. I've actually been with the company since early 1996.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Yeah, we're a dinosaur in the internet age. We were one of the .coms back then. We initially started as a research conduit. That back in those days, all of the investment research was biased. It was all coming out of the investment banks, and they were all raising money for the companies that they were then plugging the stocks for. So the research that the analysts were coming out with was biased. And so our founder initially had the idea, hey, let's present independent research that is not biased, that there's no conflict of interest. And that's how we got started back in the early, late 90s. And then we really quickly realized what really advisors needed was more than research, was practice management, business development. They needed help building their businesses and serving their clients. And so but the idea initially was it was straight from the horse's mouth, meaning the independent experts. And then that was morphed into, the horse's mouth being experts in business development and advisors themselves. We do a lot of work talking to advisors who are successful, getting best practices, understanding how they're building their businesses and what they've done to be successful. And now we've kind of moved into a whole new area where we've gotten into client education. And we really believe that the role of the advisor now is going to be helping
Yes, that's one of the actual best. I think the internet has provided us a great opportunity, especially in this advising space, to have these kinds of resources and say, all right, I don't know all the answers to all the questions, and I'm okay to tell that to a client, right? But if I can find the answers, that's why you have me as your advisor. So definitely empowering, definitely awesome to have you guys as a resource. So talk a little bit about what are some of the things, like resource is a very broad word. It describes a lot of different things. Talk about what exactly you guys offer, because my experience, and I shared it with you right before broadcast, but when I started 14 years ago, I remember Jim Ludwig, the guy who started our firm, used to use Horsesmouth for business planning. And that's how I kind of knew that you guys were a business plan platform, and a few articles here and there. So please tell us, what are the resources that advisors can utilize in this space?
Absolutely. So, and business planning is something that we help with. We have a whole tool for that on our site. But we are sort of a number of properties that we have. So we have our flagship service, which is business development and practice management. And there, the primary resources are, first of all, sort of first-person narratives and case studies and best practices, again, from advisors. So we interview successful advisors and we talk to them about something in particular that they're doing that's working well for them. It might be a business development or a prospecting or marketing strategy. It might be a client service strategy, an efficiency strategy. We really cover the bases, and there's a lot of different topics. And many of those are women, but not all. We have a number from women. So that's business development and practice management resources. Articles, podcasts, webinars, things like that are one of the resources that we offer. Then we have client-facing resources. So we have a turnkey marketing program with all kinds of reprints and materials that can be provided to the advisor, all FINRA reviewed, that can be sent out. There's events that you can do. There's presentations you can do. And then we have actually deep dive client education programs, which help the advisor get educated on things like college planning, caregiving, Social Security, Medicare, IRA planning, generational planning as a whole. It's about 8 of them. And deep dives into those topics for the advisor. You can even get CFP credit, CE credit if you're a CFP. And then there's resources to present to the public. So you can do workshops, presentations, give them handouts and resources. So those are the kinds of materials that we provide.
Yeah, very, very, very diverse. And we actually here at Main Street Financial Planning, so Collective is my kind of passion project. And so, and I actually met Miriam at one of the conferences not too long ago, where she kind of talked about what Horsesmouth does. And then she said, well, you know, one of the things that I personally struggled with is, I think, is it your son was going to college or your daughter?
My son.
Yeah.
Yep, just started.
Yes, right. So, and you had no resources that you could find that were credible in terms of someone advising you. How do you pay, right? How do you pay for college, right? Not in terms of, oh, here's your 529 plan and save over here, but actually we're facing this like tomorrow. What do we do? So it was neat to find out that you guys offer all of these different topic specific trainings. Like I've done last year, I spent quite a bit of time really diving deep into student loans. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's like, I need to take another, probably a few years worth of courses to really understand. So it is, I feel like that kind of area, right? Wherever it is that you want as an advisor, I feel like if you want to specialize in something, that's a great place to, to begin with. Pick your area and kind of dive in deep. But I think it's also, if you want to have a general knowledge and be a little bit more educated, that's also great to, to pick up a particular topic. Like we've done at our firm, we've done training on Social Security. That's kind of like over the years. And we've used your materials too to do webinars. So
right.
It's been definitely helpful. Now for this event that we are all coming together very soon, actually just about less than 2 weeks, 10 days away. And we really appreciate you guys supporting us. I wanted to kind of change the focus a little bit and talk about what do you actually offer to women financial advisors? Because that's what we're here for at Collective. We want to support women. We want more women in our industry.
Absolutely.
So are there any resources that particularly devoted to women, or are there other things that they can come and get at Horsesmouth?
Yeah, so we don't segregate our content, in terms of gender. So it's not like we don't have a, area that's specifically for women, but we have lots of content for women that is, readily found. And as I mentioned, some of it is on business development, practice management, and first person narratives and things like that. There's some great interviews, podcasts, and actually, whether you're a Horsesmouth member or not, you can access our entire podcast series. It's called Advisor Radio, and anyone that uses podcasts can get it, and all the major platforms have them. And they're not all the first person case study interviews. There are some great ones there, but there's other content too. And one of our big speakers is a woman named Ellen Rogan, who is an top independent advisor. She's done some great interviews with experts on all different types of topics, and some are female specific. So I would encourage browsing those for sure. Then we have, as I mentioned, some of the client education stuff that we have. We have articles for clients that are really geared toward the interests of women in particular. So things like caregiving, where women tend to have the inordinate burden of caregiving, longevity issues, Social Security planning. Women get the short end of the stick in a couple because the man takes his benefits too early, and then, the woman lives to 95 and she could have had, hundreds of thousands of dollars more.
Yeah.
Things like that. Generational planning is another big one. Men tend to focus on estate planning. Women are interested in legacy and generational planning and transfer of assets to the next generation. So we have programs on all of these deep dives, as well as just client-facing content. So big range of stuff for women advisors, and also content on what it's like to be a female advisor, and what challenges are, what some of the obstacles are, and a lot what the opportunities are.
Fantastic. Yeah, those are all the things that we want to know here, because it's not, it's at Collective, we want to have women who are developed, from all of the areas of their life. And so having resources like this is fantastic. So how can everybody get in touch with you?
Well, me personally, I'm on all of the social media, but I would suggest following Horsesmouth, because Horsesmouth is where you're going to actually get information about what we offer, as opposed to hearing my personal political views or things like that. So I would say go to Horsesmouth on Twitter, or on Facebook, or on LinkedIn. Follow us on any of those platforms, and we post lots of stuff, and links to articles that you can read, and information that would be helpful to you. And also, you can come to horsesmouth.com. We have lots of info there. If you click on our events and webinars, we have replays of many of our webinars available there. You can sign up for a free trial, as I mentioned, and get a chance to see a lot of our stuff that way. So.
Yeah, great. Okay, so don't have to get a member spread right away, but can kind of get a taste of what you have to offer.
Yeah, and Advisor Radio for sure. If you're a podcast listener, I'm a podcast listener myself, and you can get hours and hours. And I mean, we have all of our. It's at least 3 years worth of content is all available still. So you can go and browse it and download stuff and listen.
Fantastic. Yes, I'm going to add that to my list of podcasts. I've learned so much about what you guys actually offer beyond what was kind of stuck in my mind for so many years of business planning. And I was like, so I went to your website and I looked around, I'm like, do they still offer that? I'm like, this is nuts. But anyway, it's great. It's great to collaborate with awesome folks like you guys. And thank you, Miriam, so much. I also want to thank you for supporting the collective at the XYPN conference. I'm looking forward to seeing you in person again. And yeah, stay in touch with all of us and everybody. Miriam will share some more interesting resources in our Facebook group over the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. Yep. And yeah, connect with them on all various sources, platforms. Actually, Facebook page looks pretty good. So I've followed you guys there.
Cool. Well, thanks. And including us. We're really excited about the whole event and about your group. And, we think that the industry's really gone to a place where women are going to thrive. So we want to help.
Oh my gosh. Yes. It's like music to my ears. is a good start here on the West Coast. I appreciate you tuning in this morning, and we'll see you next week. Thank you everybody for watching.
Thanks.